Hello, Jim Woods, Eagle Financial Publications. I'm honored to be here today with former Congressman Devin Nunes of my home state, California, and now CEO Devin Nunes of Trump Media and Technology Group, also known as the benefactors of True Social.
Yeah.
So, and I heard it was the fastest growing media company.
Yeah, well, thank you. Well, Jim, thanks for having me. And yeah, it's been a fun ride. Obviously it helps having one of the most iconic brands and one of the biggest, most prolific users of social media in modern times, a guy named Donald Trump. People have heard of him before. But I always tell people Trump didn't need a new company and I didn't need a new job. But out of necessity, we had to create a home for people that were canceled. And so that allowed us to basically grow really rapidly, to get, and because there were so many people still on our platform today have not been let on the other back on other platforms. So that's our bread and butter. We're there for the people that get canceled, but we continue to grow, innovate, build new technology. True Social is what we're known for, but I describe it as the beachhead against big tech, and from there, we're going to grow everything else, the whole ecosystem.
Talk about that beachhead concept, because I think most people know Trump. They know Trump and they know he's on True Social, and that's about what they know. Mm-hmm. And then recently they know that the company went public. My readers know about it because I write about the market, so they follow the markets.
Right.
And we know that the stock just took off the first 4 days, something like $8.5 billion worth of trading, mm-hmm. market cap in that first few days. But it's not just True Social.
Right.
So that's what I'm here finding out in our discussions today. Mm-hmm. What is the grand vision of the company, and how does that going to translate into bottom line for shareholders?
Yeah. So you have to remember, our company has a very simple mission, and that is to make sure that people don't get canceled in this age of the internet, right? So we're going to keep the internet open. What does that mean? Well, why do you have to keep the internet open? Well, it's because people have to have a home, whether it's using social media, or as our second product, which is I think what you're asking, is we're also building a streaming platform. Mm-hmm. Because there's so many channels and documentaries, et cetera, that get canceled on your traditional OTT platforms. So with True Social, we took the best of Instagram and Twitter, Reddit, put it into one easy to use app where we own virtually all the technology, or we're partnered with people who are critically important, that we don't partner with any of the big tech companies.
Okay.
So we're doing the same thing with streaming, where we're taking the best of Pluto and Sling and Netflix and basically putting it into one. When I talk about those, I meaning that the underlying technology, right, is what we're building. So we're building our own content delivery network so that if you can't get on to, say, a Direct TV or a Comcast or a Spectrum or YouTube TV, will be your home. And there's so much content out there that doesn't have a home. So that's the second technology, the second service that we're in the process of building right now. And outside of that, then we have to look at what can we acquire within that ecosystem that's going to support not only those two platforms, but to make sure that we just continue to harden the underlying infrastructure to make sure from now into the future, this company will single-handedly keep people's access to the internet alive.
Now, when you say harden, are you talking about hardening against cyber threats? Are you talking about hardening against somebody actually trying to cancel the subscribers?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, I mean, both is the answer. But really, what I meant there is hardening the business against any potential cancellation.
Yeah, making it self-sufficient so that you don't have to seek outside validation through advertising, things like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's advertising, there's payment processing, there's data centers, there's you name it. There's so many places that need to be. We need to make sure that we can't be canceled into the future. So
I think one weak link in that chain, and it could really adversely affect the whole mission.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, look, we've had to, and that's even how we've built Truth Social. We had to be very careful about who we partnered with because we have so many people out there that want to cause us damage. They want to, they don't go for political reasons.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they don't believe in what we're doing. It's sad to think, but a lot of Americans believe that, having community guidelines and regulations on what you can say or can't say on the internet is something that,
They need their gatekeepers.
Right. Right.
Talk to me about that. What is your policy when it comes to terms and services, and what do you allow on the platform? I know you don't allow defamation or anything illegal, but short of that, what is the kind of the content, guidelines, or is there any content?
I mean, look, simply put, we have a terms of service, but simply put, if you don't see it on traditional rabbit-eared TV, we don't want it on our platform, right? That's the main thing. So you can exercise free speech, but we don't want anything that's illegal, right? And we don't want bots, we don't want fake accounts, and we don't want trolling. So it's pretty simple. If you just come on the platform and you engage in a normal matter, we don't care what you say, but because you can say whatever the hell you want, but we just don't tolerate any illegal activity. And you know what? It kind of polices itself. We've always had people, for the wrong reasons, try to get on the platform, and over time they clean themselves up. So we've managed to have a very clean platform. Knock on wood. We always have bad actors trying to get on, but look, if people do something illegal, we're not going to mess around with you.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to be off.
Yeah, I would imagine that you can't eliminate a bad actor, but you can minimize their footprint, as it were. Yeah, I mean, so talk to me about some.
Most people don't want to get on. Most people are pretty careful about getting on.
Yeah.
And because you use your telephone number.
Yeah.
Now, bad actors come on and use fake telephone numbers and try to get through, but people are pretty. Look, at any given time, we could end up with fake accounts being created, but we do our very best to keep them off.
Yeah, I imagine that it's just an ongoing battle, just like any other battle, to do that. Now, what about the company became public in a rather somewhat it's getting more conventional, but in an unconventional way through special purpose acquisition that you did. Yeah. Talk about that a little bit, and talk about maybe little broad strokes on how that deal got done and why it got done like that.
Well, it was the longest SPAC deal in history, I think. When I left Congress, they had already announced this deal. I thought it was going to take a few months. Normally, the transactions would have taken 4 or 5 months, should have been done. But look, there's the Biden administration did everything they could, in my opinion, to slow roll the deal. They thought that we would walk away from the deal, but we didn't want to walk away from the deal because so many innocent Americans, retail shareholders, bought into the SPAC, the financing vehicle, thinking that we were going to merge with them. And look, I think it was tough. It took us a long time. It should not have taken this long. The SEC should have protected our emerging company startup, should have protected the retail shareholders. They did neither. They tried to get all sides to get out of the deal. But we persevered through it, got the transaction done. And I think we've all been rewarded for it because the retail shareholders didn't lose their investment, right? They were able to invest in what they want. They want to own part of DJT. And we want the people that want us, right? And I think we've set for 621,000 retail shareholders today, that's an amazing number, with very little, if any, institutional investors. And so we like that model. I mean, we think people should be investing in their voice because if you do, you're then investing in your freedom. And I would argue we're the only company at large scale that's set up to really take advantage of protecting those rights, protecting your voice.
So you were in Congress for many, many years. How long? How many years?
Well, almost 20, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you like being in the private sector?
Well, it's a little bit of a different job because it's, even though I'm not in elected office anymore, because of who our owner is, it's
Slightly different than a regular CEO job, right?
sadly, it's very political. We don't want it to be, but it is. And you have to see the world as it is, not the way you want it to be. But there's just a lot of people that don't want to work with us, and, which is, for political reasons, which is fine. But I think our retail shareholders know that that's why they want to invest in us.
Right. Yeah, it's a double-edged sword because you got people that love the political element, and people that dislike it vehemently, and that's just the way our society is right now.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and
we're a product of that, right?
Yeah,
we're a product
exactly.
of. I always tell people, Trump didn't need a company, I didn't need a job. I mean, but we had to do it. We had no choice but to create this company.
Gotcha. So, as a prospective shareholder, my readers considering buying the shares, what would you tell them as far as what markers to look for as far as progress is down the line? Is it a 12-month timeline, 24 months? What kind of timeline would you say would it take to get the company where you want it to be in those markers?
Well, I would say that we're never going to stop, right? I mean, if good deals come around, we're going to continue to grow into those deals. We have these two products now, both True Social and the streaming product, that are emerging technologies that have to be developed and fine-tuned. Remember, a lot of the companies that are our competition have been around a long time.
Yeah, you guys are young in relation to.
Right.
I mean, the company's only been around for a short time.
Right.
You've done quite a bit. I mean, you've got like 9 million, downloads of the app already, which is quite impressive. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. Yeah. And so then it's going to come on those two technologies that we have to build into. And those are really important because it's about communications infrastructure, right? We have to give a place for content creators to come to. Right. So both social media and the streaming technology. But the more important aspect really is going to be what we find in terms of technology or companies that we can acquire that fit into that mold.
Revenue accretive from the beginning.
Yes, yeah. Companies that make revenue that would help support kind of our underlying development of these emerging technologies.
Add to the bottom line.
Yep.
And support the yeah. That's something I'll be looking for.
Yeah, and hopefully things where there's synergies.
Yes.
Right. That's the hope. Where companies that can, or technology that would benefit by having the Trump brand, access to True Social, and access to our streaming capabilities. Maybe all three, maybe one of the three, but I think that's where the opportunity lies. And we're looking at deals all day, every day, trying to find the right fits.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I think we're out of time, but next time we'll talk about wine.
That's one of my favorite subjects.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank
Devin.
you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.